sat upright, hand on the mouse, staring at the screen. Well, not staring, facing the screen, but asleep. Definitely.
101. What happens when you win a Grammy?
We don't know.
We haven't technically won one, really. You should talk to Rottingdean Bazaar and Annie Collins. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to them. They're our artwork team for stunt work.
Yeah.
And they won a Grammy, and it was very well deserved.
Like, the reaction was surprising to us. I don't think we saw it and went like, ugh, that's disgusting. Wow, what a disgusting record. You know what I mean? We didn't say that. We just liked it.
Just for clarification, if you're listening, the artwork is made with pubic hair. So it's obviously, saying that now it's very understandable that some people might have a sort of negative reaction to that. But that was not our feeling at all on it.
It's pubes. Everyone's got pubes.
We know, but we can't reveal what the origin of the pubic hair is. Yeah.
101. Have you ever fallen asleep in the workplace?
I've fallen asleep at the desk. I used to do a picture research job, and I worked with some really lovely people, but it would sometimes be quite repetitive, like sourcing images for online articles, basically. Mm-hmm. So, there was something about it that could sometimes be a bit monotonous if it was a slow news day or whatever. Yeah. So many times my eyes just getting really heavy and then realising that, you've kind of been asleep for 10 minutes or something like that. But, sat upright, hand on the mouse, staring at the screen. Well, not staring, facing the screen, but asleep. Definitely.
The thing is, when you're not supposed to fall asleep, those are the best times.
It feels lovely. There's a nice feeling about it.
For a really brief period before I moved to London, I was working simultaneously in a shoe shop, and I worked at the Gap as well.
Oh, yeah.
I worked in Gap. And it's
I don't know why I find that really funny.
I mean, it was just...
Gap's got its own kind of culture, especially if you call it the Gap.
Yeah.
It's
like a cult.
It really does have its own culture. I mean, 100% testify to this. I worked with some really great people, actually. They were all really sweet. And up in menswear, one of the guys I worked with was actually... He's now an actor. His name's Sam Claflin. He's quite a famous actor.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh, is he in Hunger Games?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think he's been in some really big movies. And
he's like a handsome guy.
He is extremely handsome, extremely sweet.
If you work
man.
in the Gap, you've got to be handsome.
Yeah.
It's another Gap thing. Yeah.
You've got to especially look good in denim.
Man.
If you look good in denim, job's yours, mate.
He was making us all look bad. But yeah, lovely guy. People used to try and pay with checks occasionally. And I just got absolutely no clue what I was doing with that whatsoever. So I just accept the check and just be like, yeah. It's all good. And people come in and do it deliberately, because they didn't know they knew it was kind of a bit of a ruse. So you'd take a check for like 120 quid or whatever, and then it would bounce. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, sorry. And then the manager would take you to one side and be like, what the hell are you doing? And you'd be like, yeah, sorry, I don't know. And then the next week, I'd just do it again. I did it like 3 or 4 times. And, they never got around to firing me. They probably should have done. But sorry about that. Yeah.
101.
That's actually just reminded me. I used to get conned a lot. I used to. Well, I'm quite a gullible person, and I worked in a gallery that was in Fitzrovia, and this guy was obviously going round anywhere that had someone just sat at a front desk, and he came in and he had this whole speech prepared. It was very clever because he said something like, oh, I was here earlier, I chatted to your colleague, and I was just going, yeah. And he was like, and she said that I could come and pick up and he did this thing where he was kind of saying, your colleague, oh, what's her name? And then I was saying her name. You know what I mean? Like, I was filling in all the kind of gaps in the story.
You know what they're doing, don't they?
Yes, and then I went into the petty cash and literally handed him some cash. but I'm gullible. Since then, I have to be. I'm sort of on the lookout for things like that all the time because they do happens to me easily. Don't know why.
101 part-time jobs. 101 part-time jobs. What was the first thing that you bought with your own money? Mine was a banana suit after working at Waitrose for a month.
Oh, you're asking this question because your answer's really good.
No, I'm not. But
But that's such a good answer.
by some context.
My answer's probably so boring. Probably, I used to buy a lot of like CD singles at the Woolworths in Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's great.
So it was probably that. And I did buy Craig David and the Artful Dodger Rewind, which was the first CD single that I bought. So it might have been that. I don't remember like buying a lot of things other than like cheap CDs and tapes and stuff.
And pick a mix.
So it might have been that, but I really don't know.
Were you excited when Craig David came back?
Yeah. Also, he's got a pretty crazy story to tell. Have you heard? I mean, like he lived in Heathrow Airport for a while and stuff like that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
He
And
tells
his whole muscle phase. He was talking about that and about how he was actually very unhealthy. He was sort of like on the brink of like almost kind of having some pretty major health problems because of how ripped he was and stuff like that. Like he's gone through, it's like he's had a whole sort of journey with his mental health, which is really, he's being very kind of like frank about, which I think is really interesting.
101.
Have you been to the Blue Posts here before?
We had a pint outside this pub.
Yeah.
We like stood on it's a nice pub to stand outside, if that's not too weird to say, because
No.
there's a lot of good people watching, because it's like a
gorgeous
crossroads.
outside.
So and it's actually nice weather today. But anyway, it's good for that as well.
Yeah.
The inside's good, the outside's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Morning Glory?
Oh.
What's the story Morning Glory? The cover was shot. on
Really?
that road, just there, yeah. Like 7 in the morning.
That might have been one of the first things I bought with my own money.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure.
I had it on tape.
Yeah.
Had it on tape.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers for watching this video episode of 101 Part-Time Jobs. This is the first video we've done. You can watch the full thing at our Patreon, patreon.com/101 Part-Time Jobs. Usually, we're an audio-only podcast. We're going to do a couple of videos every now and then, but you can find our entire catalogue of audio podcasts on Spotify, Apple, and all other podcast apps. So head over there, subscribe to us, and get 2 episodes every week.